So I'm your little helper. Today I just want to help people, and the work of the Office of Ethnic Affairs, which is now Office of Ethnic Communities, is around promoting the benefits of diversity. Now this is actually a very complex area, and I'm sorry, May, to hear that you've met with quite a few angry people. I speak to a lot of our ethnic communities, and look, they are all wanting to be part of the solution and not a problem. And I think it's important when you look at who we're serving, that it's important to look across. So the term ethnic matawaka in the context of the mandate for the Office of Ethnic Communities refer to any segment of the population within New Zealand society with cultural values, customs, beliefs, languages, traditions, and characteristics that differ from the wider New Zealand society. So basically, not Pakeha, not Māori, not Pacifica. We kind of have to work with them. So we shine the light on opportunities. We shine the light on what's possible. We shine the light on potential. Now that's the current state. The stewardship work, though, is the complexity. Because what you're actually looking for as government agencies is how you better manage the paradox. Because it's not about the either or, it's not about us versus them, it's not about Asians versus non-Asians, it's not about Asians versus Mila, or Africans, migrants, or refugees. Actually, it's an and. It's all of us, it's we. How do we do this for ourselves, not for the other? Because the future state is the stewardship stuff. And this is where I want to acknowledge that, diversity as a concept is wider than just ethnicity. I want to acknowledge that there are gay Chinese people around, that there are Muslim Chinese New Zealanders, that there are, transgender Indian people around. That diversity as a context is embodied as a full complementary skill set rather than just the ethnic component of who we are. Because, as you all know, we're all ethnic in some ways or function according to Webster Dictionary. So I just want to acknowledge Treasury's higher living standards framework as well. If you haven't looked at it yet, it's a good one to look at, particularly more for the social cohesion as an outcome, because that's our work in terms of stewardship, and our work in the office is built to contribute to that end. May made a point about the economic driver, which I think is quite a current state driver, but the polarity then that we're having to manage is the future state, which is our young people, the future New Zealand leaders, the kind of country, society, nation that we want to leave behind for them. The work of the office is built on an educational platform. So while we have a policy team, we're not policy experts like all of you. We've got an operational team, but we're not service providers. Who we are, we're very much more bridge builders, where people connect us, and we work in the realm of education. A lot of what we do is setting competency as an approach. So how do we increase New Zealand society's intercultural competency so that the story that Dame Susan DeVoy shared with you isn't an experience, a lived experience for your grandchildren, for your future generation? How do we increase competencies for our people today, our leaders today, where we're managing the polarity of privacy rights for any New Zealander versus and security and safety? A lot of the drivers currently you see in media is about security. So there is fear. Of course, that is the current reality, not just in New Zealand, right across all Western countries. But you've got to ask the question about competency as an approach to manage that. The other area that we can help you with, of course, is connections. We've got connections with ethnic young people through our program, ethnic media as a network where you talk about recruitment. There are people, alternate sources that you can go to. There are ethnic businesses as well as some connection because, again, ethnic communities are part of the solution, not the problem. I just came from MB's good work with the New Zealand Refugee Settlement Strategy, for example, and we've got data from our colleagues in Ministry of Education. Refugee children are actually doing really, really well in the education sector. And then when they go out to look for jobs, what happens? That's the next question. So unconscious bias is there. It's not about them as who we are today so that we can become who we want to become tomorrow. Anyway, a very short pace of coordinator. Happy to help at any time, happy to have a conversation about the complexity of this sector. Kia ora everyone, and thank you for your